Hey guys, Mr. V over here doing a book review today for Mistborn Volume 2, The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. So guys, just want you to know before I do my book review, I try to do a spoiler-free book review. So let's get into the book review for The Well of Ascension. So online it says that you can, if you guys already read Volume 1, you can read Volume 1, be happy with it, it kind of comes to an end. As you saw if you read it, kind of comes to an end, you don't need to continue. But they say online that if you want to continue, you have to read Volume 2 and 3, not just Volume 2, and I can see why they say that. So I decided that I wanted to continue because I enjoyed Volume 1, so I thought, let's give Volume 2 a try, and I'm glad that I did because it was a fun book. So this takes place 1 year after Volume 1. After Volume 1, the Lord Ruler is dead, he's gone, and Ellen is control, and it takes 1 year after, and you get to see what the city is like a year after the Lord Ruler is gone. And it's definitely very interesting because the city is not doing well. The city is doing very badly, actually. And people did not like the Lord Ruler, but they want him back. And people are getting restless, and you can see what's going on. He's showing that in the book. And it's interesting because this happens in real life. When people overthrow the leader and get rid of the leader they hated, then pretty quickly they start to not like the new leader much, and they get restless. They think, okay, stuff under the previous ruler sucks, but it's better than it is now. And they just get restless, and that's how it is. And there's a change period. So that happens in the book, in the beginning of the book. Now, there is somewhat of a slower start to this book. People complain about that online, but please know that a lot of fun is still happening. There's still a lot of fun happening, and I'll go back into that in just a bit, but it helps if you know the characters. You don't want to take too long a break because almost all the characters from book 1 return in this book. So prepare for many characters because not only all the characters from book 1, with the exception of the ones who died, but with the exception of those, almost all of them return and he adds more. But I would say, that's what makes the beginning of the book pretty good. Some people said it's a slow start, but I think if you know all the characters, I think you'll have a lot more fun because there are some pretty fun twists fairly early on, and it makes you want to continue. So that's why when people say it's a slower start, yeah, it's a slower start, but there are a lot of fun twists. And overall, the story just flows very well. It does flow very well, and I would say the story gets very fun without realizing, and it gets very intense without even realizing it because many different things start to happen. Again, he just does such a great job of having the story just flow very well. Now, depending on which description of the book you read, this is what's said, so I'll give you possibly a minor spoiler, but online, if you read the description on Goodreads, it gives this description, is that basically 3 armies are setting up around Luthadel. And they're trying to build camps, and you wonder, will they attack, and when will they attack, type of thing. So, that's also what's happening in the beginning of the book, and he just kind of goes into that pretty smoothly, and it is very nice. And another thing, now this is a minor spoiler, so if you don't want to hear this, jump forward about 30 seconds. But basically, someone that can change bodies infiltrates the city and the people around Ellen. They know that because of the way it happens. They find the bones and they're like, okay, someone can just change and all that. I don't remember if that happened in book 1, but it happens here. But they know that it's someone around Ellen. And you wonder, who is it? What information are they collecting? You wonder, are they just a pure spy selling secrets? What is going on? And you continue to wonder, will people remain loyal or will they turn on Ellen and Vin? And he just is great at building that suspense. You continue to wonder, okay, is this person legitimate or are they a spy? Are they going to turn on him? And he just builds that drama so well, and that's what makes the book a lot of fun because of how well he can build that drama. And it's like, also, every time you think you know where it's going, there is just a surprise. And he just throws a twist at you. And it doesn't feel forced either. It's always a good surprise. So it's like, it doesn't feel like, oh, you can see that coming. It's not that type of surprise. He just throws one at you, and you are just like, wow. And then sometimes there are these huge twists, which, it just adds so much enjoyment when you get that twist. You're just like, whoa, he just does it so well. And again, that's why his writing style is just so great. And I think there can be so many surprises in these books because how many different story arcs he has in there. And you're not always following one story. It's just like book 1. You weren't always following one person. you're following different storylines between the different chapters. Sometimes mid-chapter, you're following different storylines. And I think it's just a lot of fun following those different story arcs. And that's what makes it like easier to throw those big twists to you. And he just continues to do that. So in book 2, he also continues like the world building. He does a great job with that. You get to know the city of Luthadel a lot more. He also gets to know the characters a lot better. Of course, it's the second book, so you get to know the characters a lot more because he just adds more depth to the characters. Some of the other characters from book 1 that weren't as big a factor, now there's a lot more written about them. So he builds a lot more on that. And I think one thing that really helps him is the great dialogue he has. I said it's very similar to book 1, but he has just great dialogue where it is a third-person point of view, but then you still know how the person feels. Sometimes they give you almost a first-person point of view. You know what their thoughts are. But other times, because of the dialogue, it just makes you feel like you're in the room with them. And again, it's just, if you read book 1, obviously if you are watching this, you read book 1. So you know how it is, and that's why he continues that in this book. And he just does a great job with that. I can't say much more of what I like without giving spoilers away. But some of the things I did not like about the book. One of the big things is I feel his fighting scenes are just too drawn out. I'm not a fan. I was not a fan of the fighting scenes in the last book. I just felt, again, that they were just too drawn out. I have no problem with fighting scenes or anything like that. I have no problem with that in other books either. But his just seems way too long at times. And another thing I really did not like in this book, this is a minor spoiler. I won't give much away, but just a minor spoiler, is the character Sazed. He just gets super strength at one time in the book. And it's when, I don't remember him being mentioned that he could get this super strength type of thing. So it just happens at a perfect time. And it's just like, I just felt like, okay, that was the one thing I felt was a little forced. I'm like, I don't ever remember it happening that you could get the super strength. And it just happened all of a sudden. That was one thing I just really did not like. And the last thing I did not like about the book was I don't like those like phrases at the beginning of the chapters. Don't hate me for that, because I know some people online really love them, but I'm just not a fan of those. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing the point of it. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I just don't know why. I just don't like those. So that's another thing. But if you enjoyed it from book 1, it's the same thing happening in book 2. There's those stories that at the very beginning of the chapter, there's those little headlines. So those are some of the things I liked, did not like. But I would say that if you like book 1, you should continue the series. I can see why they say you have to read book 2 and 3. I'm going to continue to book 3 next, but I can see why. But I really think if you like book 1, continue, because this is a very fun book. It's a very fun book. I would say it's not quite as good as book 1, but it's very close. It's not even like one of those that are way down. No, it is very close to book 1 in terms of how much I liked it. So that's why if you like book 1, I would say continue. Now, I'm going to give it my official rating. I always rate my books on a scale of 0 to 10. With a 0 just being an awful book, a 5 is average, and a 10 is phenomenal. If it's anywhere near 10, put it on your reading list because I'm a very tough critic, and a 5 is average. So, for Mistborn Volume 2, The Well of Ascension, I'm going to rate this book a 7. It almost got a 7.5, but I'm going to rate it a 7. It's just slightly lower than book 1. Book 1 got a 7.5, but I would say this book is just slightly lower than 7.5. It almost got it, but just not quite. But anyway, if you guys have any comments, questions, please post it in the comment section below because I love to hear your comments. If you guys enjoyed the book review today, please hit the subscribe button. I always upload multiple different types of book reviews. But thank you for watching my book review today. This is Mr. V. Go enjoy reading.